Yo,
Hey, welcome to the new meta, episode 148.
148, just T minus 2 for the Death Nut Challenge.
The Death Nuts. Oh, mine's over on the shelf. I forgot to grab it. Sitting there waiting. I have it propped up. I have it propped up on my headphone stand. So as I walk in my stream room, it's just right there staring at me, like just
reminding you.
Yeah, I can't walk in here without seeing it. So it's like, oh man. You know what? Unfortunate timing that is.
What?
The Burning Crusade Classic launches on the 1st, the day of the pod where I scheduled to drive to KC, so I will be unavailable the whole day. I would be pretty upset, and I actually thought about like being like, Fluff, man, we gotta like move the podcast to Monday or something, right? I literally thought about this. I'm going through scenarios.
We can do that.
But here's the thing. Well, I thought you were traveling and you're out.
I'll be home by noon, I think.
Okay.
But it's Spirit Airlines, so.
You're right. So maybe. So I was thinking about that, but then I'm like, you know what, man? It's a fucking WoW launch. When was the last WoW launch that was actually
Someone
playable?
Just said that in chat.
Yeah. When was the last playable WoW launch ever?
True.
Like I like Shadowlands, honestly, for me was playable. But for a lot of people, I think it wasn't. I think it's just because I was on a low pop server. But so, I think maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Maybe I'll just miss launch night and all the chaos, and then the next day we can go hard. So
yeah.
So we'll see. But
fingers crossed, man.
But yeah, man. People are excited. They're like, is that tonight? They're asking like if tonight was the Death Nut Challenge. No. I'm like, no, man. We still got 2 weeks. So you hold your horses.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I do like spicy stuff and I love peanuts.
I mean,
so
they're gonna kick us out of the ketos for sure, man.
What?
Don't they have carbs in peanuts? I think they do. I'm pretty sure.
This amount, there's no way to kick us out of keto.
Hell yeah.
Zero chance.
Well, I mean, when we throw it up because it's so hot, it probably won't matter, right?
Then our caloric intake will be down and we'll spike.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
Yeah. So are we gonna do this in your stream room, or are you gonna do a kitchen table setup? Or like
stream room.
Stream room. Okay.
2 SM7Bs up in here, and we'll adjust stuff to make it look good.
Yeah.
I think,
that'd be cool. I'm just picking out where I'm vomiting at. Is it gonna
go? Speaking of vomiting.
Yeah.
So today I went to a gym, like an actual gym, for the first time in like 4 years.
Okay.
Because I have like a in-home gym. It's pretty nice. It's small though, and so I wanted to do some like high intensity cardio. And so I go to this class, and I get people are excited about like reintegrating in society and stuff like that. And so these people show up and they're out of shape and whatever, and I admire them for showing up. But you could like. They'd obviously taken like pre-workout or something, or like gotten some supplements, and they're really excited about getting back in the gym. And like 2 people, like straight up projectile vomited.
No,
during this class.
Was it back to back? Because maybe one projectile and it caused the other one to projectile.
15-minute distance. But I maybe because like there was a smell and like in this area that we were oof. So maybe that triggered the second person.
I don't do the smells, man. I would have had to dip. I would have been like, yo, it smells in here. You gotta
I'm just like working out. I'm like, he's fine. I just kept working out. Like,
yeah. Man, I don't think I've ever thrown up from any kind of exercise things ever. I've fainted before. When I was boxing, the craziest workouts I ever did was when I was boxing, and after sparring one day, I probably had a concussion looking back at it, but this was, nobody cared in the gym I was in. So I was like super lightheaded, and I went and laid down on the gym bench for like 20 minutes, and I thought I was gonna die. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
Outside of that, I've never thrown up from sprinting. Our basketball coach in high school used to be like, I'm gonna make everybody puke today. And like we would run and run and run, and I'd feel like I was gonna die, but never threw up. So
yeah, I don't know if I've ever puked. I did a race once, and it was like in the middle of the summer in Kansas, and it was like 108 degrees or something like that, and like 2 people died in my run, like literally died.
Oh, dude, that's crazy.
I remember getting lightheaded, but that was like I think the closest I've ever felt to like feeling really off.
Yeah, I think my brother had a kid on his football team that died in football practice one time too.
That's crazy.
Just like that, just like heat stroke done. And that's crazy to think about. You know what I mean? Like you're out practicing and you're
just doing like a fun like Spartan race.
This went dark really quick.
Yeah, right.
So the moral of the story: Fluff went to the gym and caused people to throw up.
Yep.
Good job, man.
Yep. I guess I need to shower more.
Yeah, it's it is kind of interesting to see people getting back into society, and everybody's so excited. Like my family is like all trying to do get-togethers all the time now. They're like, oh, we're gonna get together and do this and do that, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, cool. I kind of like lockdown. Like, leave me. Like, we're gonna just just gonna hide in the house, man. So
yeah, it's definitely been interesting. But so I got my second COVID shot last week.
Okay.
Right before I left for Moab, which in hindsight was a really poor choice.
Right.
And I also had I had a piece of coral stuck in my foot that I got froze off last Monday, and it took me like 2 months to get that appointment. So I was like,
coral?
just do it.
Like coral from
I was in Mexico and I jumped off this swing to be funny, and I just stabbed my foot. And it was like this piece of coral that was just stuck in there forever.
Okay.
It hurt. And so 2 months to get this stupid appointment to get this thing cut out of me, and then they're like, well, just freeze it off like a wart. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
But you couldn't tweezer it?
So I couldn't
just go in with some tweezers and pull that shit out?
It was under my skin because it had grown over it or something because it's taken, I don't know. Anyways.
Okay.
But yeah, it's it hurt to fucking walk and I didn't feel great, but we did the White Rim Trail this weekend, the one that we failed on so hard the first time and had to turn around.
Yeah.
And it was such a good idea that we turned around. It bugged me that we turned around, but oh my God. We would have died had we not turned around 7 months ago. But
did you turn around this time?
No, this time.
So what was different about it this time that made it doable versus last time?
Tires. 100% tires. So last time I had 90 10s, but they were really 100 zeros, and this time I had straight up 50/50s, knobbies, and
yeah. If you guys in chat don't know what he's talking about the off-road versus road tires.
Yeah.
So a 90/10 is 90% road, 10% off-road.
Yeah.
So a 50/50's got knobbies on there to get traction in dirt and mud and stuff.
And I still the sand got so deep, but that experience from the first time where I was sliding all over the place and just a little bit of sand was super beneficial.
Yeah.
But man,
its tires are huge, man. They're crazy. I don't have a lot of experience on a a street bike that's off-road, but I've ridden dirt bikes my whole life growing up, and when you put some fresh knobbies on a dirt bike, it's like night and day, So
yeah. Did you catch any of the stuff? Did you follow me on Insta and Twitter? And
I saw one of your not Insta, but I did see some of your what are they, the fleets where you post the video things, and I saw you had your little gas cans ready to go, and you're like, I got 12 miles extra.
I had calculated that to the T. Actually,
that's nervous, dude.
Yeah,
that's nerve wracking.
Yeah, it was super nerve wracking because I was like, well, what?
So did you have to use your canisters?
Yes, I used the canisters really early, and I was like, man, I feel like I'm going through gas really quick. And so the thought popped in my head is well, yeah, I calculated the average of this particular motorcycle was 53.25 miles per gallon. And I've got just enough in the canisters, but what if this motorbike's leaking a bit of fuel?
But what if you're heavy on the throttle?
What if I'm heavy on the throttle? What if I'm too much weight? I've got all the weight on my backpack, and I'm a 200-pound guy myself. So yeah, those are all fuck, if I run out of gas out here. And I saw 4 Jeeps all day, and it was really early in the day. And I saw 10 people on bicycles and maybe one other motorcycle. So it was dead. And this thing took me 10 to 12 hours to do.
That's crazy. So was it fun? Was it worth it?
It was definitely worth it. It felt really good to finish it because it was something I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and failed the first time. But oh my God.
If I had a bike, that'd be something that I'd be down. That'd be fun.
It was insane.
I used to Dude, I used to ride the crap out of dirt bikes as a kid growing up, so much, man. Trail bikes and all kinds of shit. So,
but there were times where it's 70-degree decline, and it's just pure sand, right? And you're just sliding, and you're well, down. I hope I catch.
Once you start, you can't stop.
Yeah. When there's these clear, sheer cliff edges on either side, and man, there's a couple times I'm well, I'm gonna die. This is where I die.
This is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the problem is the more you start psyching yourself out about it, you make it worse.
Yeah, totally.
It makes you gravitate towards those edges, or you panic and you'll fuck up and do it. So I've done the same. So my dirt bike experiences, my brother and I used to ride my older brother and I used to ride quite a bit, and we go down. We're at St. Joe State Park, which is this area. I think it's somewhere around, I don't know. Anyways, we're at this park and there's this big hill and I see him on top of this hill and I look and there's this hill. It's like straight up. And I'm like, well, clearly my brother did it. He's on top of this hill. Like there was no other way up there. Right.
Right.
So I just blast it, man. And I'm going and I get almost all the way to the top, but you're so vertical that the bike won't stay down.
Yeah.
So you have two choices. You either have to let off the throttle for a second to try to get it, but then you lose momentum and you just stall out, or you lean forward over the bike. So I'm like leaning on the front, but then there's no weight on the back tire. So the back tire starts spinning and it's just like, either way, I'm screwed. So I end up digging a rut and just tipping over. Man, I probably fell like 20 feet before I even touched ground. You know, it was so far. And then I'm rolling with the bike, like sprained my ankle. My ankle was purple instantly. You know what I mean? It was horrible.
Yeah.
So.
I had that same thing. I was going up it felt like a 90-degree incline. And there's this pure sand. And I'm sitting there and I've gotten enough juice. I'm getting up this hill. And I'm like shimmying because it's sand. Like, so my back tire's like spinning. And I'm like, come on, get up there. I'm like almost tipping over. Oh my God. Yeah, it was so scary. It was at the top of this cliff. It was like, oh my God.
So after my wreck, my brother comes down. He's like, bro, what the F were you doing? I was like, how did you get up there? He's like, no, there's a trail on the backside. I was like, I almost had it. He's like, yeah, you did actually. You almost made it up. So, all right, let's talk about video game stuff. People, I don't care. I don't care. We don't have any video game stuff to talk about today, chat. That's the whole podcast. So,
we got some stuff.
Yeah, let's
surprisingly, we're in a bit of a drought.
We had a poll from last week.
Yep. So last week we asked, would you rather have one big juicy Diablo 4 development update per quarter or multiple bite-sized chunks monthly? What did you actually want to see win? And obviously 60% of votes said they want a big fat post like they've been doing, or 40% says bite-sized chunks.
It's really hard for me to pick, man. If I had to pick, because I want the info more readily, but I guess the big chunks, man. I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I want the bite-sized chunks because I want to be able to get ahead of like really poor decision making. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Instead of like once every 3 months, they're like, oh, let's release this update, and then like, oh no, the community hates it. Whereas like maybe two of that months could have been like, oh, they hated it. Like 2 months maybe wasted working on this concept or something like that. I don't know.
I feel like by the time we get the juice anyways, it has to be a huge uproar for them to be like, we're not going to do this. Because I honestly like, and hopefully I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not, but I feel like it's like they mull around the ideas for a long time and they iterate on them and they work on them really hard. And then once they're like, this is it, this is the play. And then they'll throw it out to us, to the community. And then we'll, and for the most part, I think that they're just like, oh, okay, we'll hear a little bit, but I think they're going to roll with that. Unless we just like super crazy lose it,
I feel like they've shifted a lot though over the last
I do too. I think the angel demonic thing was super scary to me, and I think the feedback was scary too because so many people were like, "Oh, this is amazing," and I'm like, "No, wait." But then they backed off on it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know, because I didn't think. Did you get that idea from the feedback? My idea to the feedback wasn't they should back off this.
the people that were in the know about ARPGs were like, "Oh my god, no." But like the general population, a large portion of the general population was like, "Oh my god, this is inspired and amazing."
Yeah, so I'm glad that they changed stance on that a little bit. But who knows if that was us or if that was just devs being like,
it's got to be the new meta, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Well, I mean, we got leaderboard filters.
Yeah, totally. That's totally us.
100%. So. Let's see. So what were the results? Read those off to me. I can't quite see.
60% big fat posts, 40% bite-sized chunks. So pretty split, but most people lean towards the big ones.
Can I get like a medium fat post with like a bite-sized chunk every now and then?
Yeah, I honestly think that like if they want to stick to this big fat post, like what's the issue or the problem behind like just giving us like concept art or something? Like it's like just like, once a week, just give us like a post, or once every couple weeks, a bi-weekly little chunk of something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just little morsels. But I guess then maybe by the time the game comes out,
they could appease me with the little bite. If they're gonna do instead of concept art, I'd rather have in-game. Like, check out this, like they got a wizard standing there like nuking something, or just some in-game footage, man. Because that's the thing that makes me super excited is graphically like how impressive the game's going to
be.
You know?
And a little topical. You mentioned that.
Ooh.
So for next week, this isn't going to make a lot of sense right at first, but do you want Diablo 4 to be playable on old generation consoles? No, it should be next gen, or yes, F new consoles.
Well, considering nobody can buy a new console.
Just tweeted that out.
Yeah.
Post that in chat.
So I think,
the reason we talk about that, is there's this like little thing going around. I don't know if you saw this. Did you see this? Ooh, let me dark mode this.
Oh, I did actually see this.
Yeah, so
forgot about it though. I'm glad you brought it up.
So there's the rumor going. Well, it's not really a rumor. It's more of like a what is that called? Datamine, right?
Yeah.
So Diablo 4 has been uploaded to the PlayStation database. On the afternoon of May 17th, a distribution kit of an unknown game from Activision was discovered on the PlayStation Network. It weighed almost 44 gigabytes and received an age rating of 17 plus. The distribution identifier was the phrase "We love dogs." At first, they assumed they were talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 or multiplayer, but by judging the mini investigation conducted by Twitter user Justin Rubin, they confirmed it was Diablo 4 because of an icon that was in the game files.
So he was able to access the game files?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. This is Datamine stuff.
How did he get access to PlayStation's database? That doesn't make sense to me. But
using the ID, Justin got access to the list of distribution assets, downloaded them, and researched them, and found the D4 logo inside. Based on IDs, PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 versions of the game have appeared on the PlayStation Network, and can be assumed that Blizzard has plans to conduct open or closed beta testing on the console versions for Diablo 4. Previously, only PC version was tested.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, they're rolling it out to consoles. I would think they have dev kits that simulate hardware inside, but they must actually want to, throw it on some kits.
Does that make you wonder, though? Do you think this is just like internal testing and this is how they like give it to their people that have PlayStations?
Yeah.
Or do you think that this is a step towards maybe a closed alpha that like could
closed alpha would be sick, man. I hope. I mean, listen, if they're gonna do a PlayStation 5 closed alpha, I got you right here.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Literally, if there's anything Diablo 4, like I don't care if my hand's like falling off of my body, I'm gonna play it an ungodly amount of hours.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. If they drop the alpha on PlayStation, I'd be like, sign me up, dude.
I'll get a PlayStation again and then return it afterwards again.
Yeah, well, you couldn't because you'd have to scalp it off of Facebook for $1,200. You know what I mean? So, man, it is topical that you asked that. I think that this is for closed internal alpha testing. I'm pretty sure in the past I've seen that Bungie, when they were developing Destiny 1, which was a console-only game, that their guys at home had access to dev builds that they could play at home and test, and those were distributed through PlayStation's network. So I think you have to just get like a developer code or some shit, and then it adds it to your account where you can download it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that. That's just what I remember. But so yeah, man, but it's cool. Maybe the game's further along than we thought if they're doing console testing at this point,
Yeah.
So,
the dream.
Testing that new ray tracing on the next gen consoles. It is kind of well, do you want to talk about the poll question or not? Do you want to wait and have that conversation?
No, I mean it's relevant now. So if you have something.
Yeah, I think that it's stupid if they don't put it on old consoles because that's a lot of people they're excluding. But man, it does suck if they're gonna have to dumb the game down in any way to make it run on last gen hardware. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One came out in 2013, guys. Like that is 8-year-old technology that was developed years before the release date. So we're talking about, you can go look up all the hardware specs you want to see how that compares. But I really hope that next gen and PC don't suffer because of that.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
but yeah, I just found this to be fascinating because if we got any kind of wind of a Diablo 4 alpha or something, oof, that'd be juicy. That'd be super sexy and juicy.
That'd be super crazy.
I know.
How hard would it be? So if they were like, all right, Fluff, we're gonna give you Diablo 4 alpha access on a PS5.
Yeah.
But you got an NDA out your ass. You can't even talk to anybody about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you're going to have to go buy a scalped PS5.
Sure.
But you're done. You're doing that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How much are you going to pay for your PS5?
Whatever it takes, and I'll just sell it.
Okay. All right. And I'll sell it. All right. And then, so now you're going to have Diablo 4, but you can't talk to your stream about it. So you're just going to go MIA like a mofo. Like you're just gone. Poof.
Yeah.
Like 3 weeks. And then you come back. You're like, where you been at, Fluff? You're going to have to say what?
I'm NDA'd out of my mind.
No, you can't say that because that's even hinting at what it is.
Why would that be hinting at what it is?
No, because everybody knows, man.
It could be PoE 2. It could be, it could be Immortal. It could be D2R. It could be D3R. No.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be fun though, man. I think it would be best.
Yeah.
That brings the question. Somebody in chat said something about Switch. I think that brings the question. I don't know if it's confirmed on Switch. I don't think they've confirmed any consoles other than I think PlayStation was maybe on the announcement. They said something about PlayStation.
Yeah, I think they said Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah, I think I remember on the announcement them not saying Switch at the time, which was like, oh really?
Yeah.
So
I think I remember the same.
But if we have confirmation, you can drop in comments. I'd be interested to know if anybody has confirmation of a Switch release. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's not on Switch, to be honest with you. I think it would be cool if somehow it was, but not at the sacrifice of the game having graphical juice. Because Switch is a pretty dated piece of hardware by today's standards.
And everything has to be like offline too for Switch.
Yeah. I think Switch requires, I think we've had this conversation that it requires you have some offline game modes.
But there's a game, someone pointed out maybe rather relevantly in the comments last week that we had Echo on and it felt to them like we were a bit disinterested, which I don't know. I think that's a kind of a fair assessment, but at the same time we want to cover games. Like we want to cover these games. Me and P aren't necessarily the most excited people in the world for a mobile game, but it's still a Diablo game. We're still going to cover it. So if we seem disingenuous sometimes, I apologize, but
I have really good wishes for Diablo Immortal. It just doesn't appeal to my checklist of things that I want on a game, and that's mainly because of the platform it's on. I just don't have a desire to play mobile games.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I think everything about the game's phenomenal. I think Wyatt's leading the ship. I think he's one of the coolest dudes I've ever met. Honestly, he's super awesome person to talk to, and I wish nothing but success for the game. So,
But yeah, so continued coverage. Neither of us are playing it, so we don't know much personally. Unfortunately, I played the crap out of the first one, but there's not much the same from this one and the last one.
And I've leveled up in both of them. But yeah. So a little playtime, but I just didn't go crazy.
It's like D3, so kind of thing.
What's your Paragon this season? Okay.
Yeah. So Rax was the first person ever to unlock the new tier of Paragon that we've never seen before, and some of the things that were in that we've seen the screenshot here if you guys are tuning in. So one is called Battle Morale, which says each enemy player killed within 15 yards by one of your party members increases your damage by 3% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 4 times. So pretty strong there. Your death grants 50% additional damage reduction to all party members within 15 yards for 6 seconds, which is pretty strong as well. And then there's...
Except for you're dead, but yeah.
Right. Each party member within 15 yards reduces the damage you take by 2.5%, which is kind of interesting. And then there's a couple others here. So when you drop below 50% life while party members are within 5 yards, you will gain first aid, recovering 50% of your maximum life per second for 3 seconds. Pretty good. And then Combat Veteran, which basically boosts the first one we talked about, that 3% damage increase, can stack 8 times instead of 4 times. And their cooldown on first aid goes down as well. So a very
the train
PvP.
Rolling, man, the more kills you get, the more the bigger the train is.
But we see, that shift from Alpha 1, Alpha 2, the focus of Diablo Immortal has completely almost become PvP at this point. And this is a very PvP oriented tree, so it would you can make a case that this will probably be the tree that everybody plays.
Yeah.
But we'll see, I guess, because you know the way the Immortal does it is you pick your Paragon Tree basically,
right,
which is good, better than D3 system by a long shot.
Right.
So what do you think about all this stuff?
Yeah, a lot of it seemed like on death for you. Like the ones where you have to die to benefit the team are lame to me because you're dead. You know what I mean? I've never liked that. There's been other games that have done things like this, and it's cool, and I understand the value in it. But to me, it's like, well, then that's banking on I'm going to die, and if I don't die, that doesn't do anything ever. You know, so I don't know, man. I don't like those specifically, but yeah, it seems like, you know, battle morale keeps the train rolling. You know, you're just running around as you get kills. If you can keep those kills coming, you're going to be freight train.
Yeah, I actually am not a big fan of stuff like this because like you can't account for it. Like say you're fighting someone and like, you know, I don't know, you kill someone and you're like, uh-oh, now they have a buff. You know, like I don't know. I don't generally love like temp buffs and stuff like that.
Yeah, but me too. I think so. To me, it seems like it's like you could outskill somebody but lose because they have. Let's say that, you know, me and you are fighting and you killed 4 people before we got into the battle, or you know, right before we engaged, and then it's a equally geared whatever. I outplay you, but I still lose just because you had those buffs rolling.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that means I didn't outplay because I should have ran for 10 seconds for them to fall off or whatever. But
yeah, I'm against communication. Your team.
Yeah, none of that makes me super excited though. None of those talents that I saw were like, oh man, this is amazing. That looks really fun. But at the same time, like they're definitely PvP oriented talents. Is the more you kill stuff, the more the train's going to keep rolling. You got 10 seconds to keep wrecking shop. So,
but I think if we got that, go ahead.
No, if you got that stacked 8 times, I mean that's a lot of bonus damage, man.
Yeah,
you know?
It is.
So,
but I think if we've learned anything from Path of Exile, it's that on-death effects suck. So I really hate on-death effects.
Yeah, man. I'm not a fan either. So, but that's cool. Like it's. Let's talk about it. Let's switch a little bit, and this kind of jumps into the Levi post. I think some about the end game of Immortal being PvP focused and. Can you catch up in a season? The catch up mechanics there, and you know, so Leviathan tweeted this out, and go ahead. I'll let you.
So Leviathan tweeted out, and you know, I like the reason I wanted to focus on this is because you know I always kind of prefer the like the more criticism, you know, and feedback versus like, oh, this game's amazing, thank you so much Blizzard for making this game. Like we hear that, I feel like, a lot.
Yeah, especially if it's constructive too.
Right. But so Leviathan tweeted out, and this was interesting to me. He said, a few weeks into this Immortal testing phase, it's my opinion that the game is less fun than the last alpha. With the focus being on PvP, it brings to light that the game lacks catch-up mechanics. Your efforts feel kind of fruitless once you're behind other players. Which I think is big interesting because Diablo 3 suffers from the same thing. I would argue that even in the first alpha, this was a suffer thing because... You know, to really
I think
compete.
it is too, and I think a lot of what he's even trying to focus on more is that your effort seems fruitless because you're just getting wrecked, and like how can you catch up? Like you know what I mean? Like those guys that keep going, like you're gonna get wrecked by them every time. It's not fun, and you can't catch them. There's no way to catch them.
Right.
You know. But think about any grindy games like that. Diablo's like that. World of Warcraft's like that. Any ARPG, PoE, I mean, it's probably like that. Like if you start a league 2 weeks late, could you catch up and hang with the big boys, even if you're one of the big boys?
Yeah. And here's the thing, but like it depends on what we're talking about. So like, say you know it's a race, like you can die and you can catch back up and you can still win. You know, contingent upon like other people dying. But like if say you were like the race is over in 2 weeks, you know, like there's nothing to catch up to, I guess, at that point. But you could like definitely slaughter, like you could start, you know, right now in Path of Exile and get to the point where the top guys are this league, you know.
It's like the catch up mechanics are a thing for grindy games that are that's a super fine point, because if the catch up mechanics exist, then the people that are putting in the work, why are they putting in the work?
Yeah.
because you can just catch up. And if the catch up mechanics are not there, then if you're not one of the original launch day guys, then why are you playing? Because you can never be those guys either way.
Right.
So I don't know how you fix it. Like, to me, I'm thinking Diablo Paragon system. I'm thinking, like, here's an example. If Diablo season launch and you and I go ham in the weekend, but then we have to miss a week for whatever. We had a vacation plan.
Right. Like,
come back a week later, like, you're done, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you're already behind a week's worth of Paragon. It's not going to matter.
It's over.
And then also it's like, okay, so these guys that are botting 24/7 can't keep that pace anyways. So you're never going to catch up to that, regardless of how hard you try. So I think implementing the Paragon and experience caps or something that they've done in Immortal to try to minimize that effect, where it's like, okay, well, if you're like botting 24/7, it's not going to give you as big of an advantage. But
and that could be the focus towards PvP, is like maybe they're thinking that, well, if it's a PvP endgame, like bots can't really win there. But
yeah, if they have to perform in the game to get the juice, to get the loot,
right?
Then yeah. So I don't know, man. You definitely want to reward those people that put in the crazy hours, right? Because I mean, they're choosing to spend their life in your game, so they need something for it. But at the same time, you got to get those new players a chance to compete. And I don't know how to solve that problem. I don't know a solution in Diablo 3 even that makes both sides happy.
There's nothing.
I just know the one in Diablo 3 we have now sucks though.
It's awful.
Like, it's not. Yeah, it's horrible. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty valid criticism.
It's a valid criticism.
I haven't played a lot.
I will say though that, I agree. I think that the last alpha is a bit more exciting to watch, and I think that people that followed me for like the first, because we had a lot of people watching when we were playing Immortal the first time around, and I think that they thought that was more exciting, like pushing the leaderboard and maintaining like rank 1 worldwide was more exciting than like watching people duke it out like Shadows versus Immortals, or just like grind dungeons all day and wait for those windows of PvP events and stuff like that.
Right.
But I don't know. But again, I question. I love Leviathan, but like the last alpha was the same. Like if I was a week late to the technical alpha phase 1, like I wouldn't be able to compete with Leviathan and Lord Fluffy. Like no way. So
yeah. And I agree with that, because like I leveled super casually in the first alpha, and like you guys were blasting by the time I even got up. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna catch, and I didn't really have the desire to try to push it either. But if I wanted to, I still wouldn't have been able to catch up. So that comes into the catch up mechanics. But should I be able to? I guess that's kind of the question. If you've been playing from day 1 and you've been going crazy hard the whole time, should I be able to catch you?
Yeah, and I would say no, absolutely not.
I would say no too.
But the problem obviously becomes, and we've talked about it into the ground on this podcast, obviously, but in D3, if everyone was legit, no one would be sitting here complaining about, oh, Rax beat me on the leaderboard because he plays 18 hours a day and he's a grinding machine. But the fact is, like, oh, XY beat me on the leaderboards and he's got 22-hour uptime, like bullshit.
He's a bot.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where the problem lies.
Yeah, it's like seems to be an impossible one to fix, but we'll see what the end game, like the focus has switched so much from this alpha to the next alpha. Like, where's the next one going to take us, man? Are they going to swing back a 180 the other way and like, okay, this alpha we're testing all this PvE stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't know. I did get the impression that there wasn't a lot more PvE to showcase other than like that boss that they were talking about, and the challenge riff stuff. I didn't get the impression that there was really much more to showcase there, but hopefully that was.
I wonder if their intent the whole time was to make a PvP style. I mean, it's got PvE in it. Don't get me wrong, but to make a PvP focused mobile game from the get go.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Maybe
this is the D3 PvP that they never put in. Why it was always like secretly.
Maybe. I mean, I do feel like that. There's a lot of hype around the Biofan event from the Alpha 1, which was the only thing you could do PvP wise. maybe like they're like, oh, well, people just love this so much or something, so they made the whole end game around it. I don't know. Or
well,
like
I got to imagine they didn't do that much since Alpha 1 because it's like that wasn't that long ago. It's like, you know, they've been working on the game for so long. This had to have been fleshed out and coded at least, you know, way before we touched it, you know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
D4 juice. Yeah. So speaking of ARPGs and PvP, help me out here. I haven't played last Epoch.
Okay. Epoch.
With the E. Is it talking about arena updates? Is it PvP or what's the arena? Do you know what the arena thing is?
I think the arena is like the kind of the rifting.
Oh, okay. That
happens?
Because I was thinking like arena, like PvP arena. So I read through and skimmed it and I didn't see anything about PvP in there. So I'm thinking like maybe not. It must not be, but
I could be wrong though myself. It's been, I think, 8 months since we touched the game. Maybe a little bit less. But these look pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Like they look pretty decent.
Like graphically, this game has never been bad looking. It's always been pretty decent, but it looks like it's improved a lot. You know, since I remember checking it out first time.
Specifically talked about like raising the vertical depth, I guess, which is kind of interesting. I don't know about you, but in Diablo 3, when you're like walking around and like some BS like wall gets in the way of your view.
Yeah,
like ugh,
I dislike it all the time.
I hate that so much.
Yeah, Diablo 2 was really bad about that too. Like you couldn't see through the walls, even though they would go transparent, or like you were. There were times where like this should get out of my way so I can see what's going on. Like it was bad. I'm not a fan either. Yeah. What did you think? So what did you think about Magic Legends letting you spin the camera?
I hate that, and I was just about to mention that because someone just said that in chat. I really hate in isometric RPGs when you can rotate a camera. Like it should just be fixed. Everyone should have like the same viewing angle, and you should just like min-max your game around that viewing angle. Yeah.
So in Magic, I ended up not messing with it very much. At first, I was spinning the camera a lot, and I was like, I hate this. I was the same. I was like, this is stupid. This is dumb. And like, which way's north now? Because I've been spinning around a whole bunch.
Right.
I ended up setting it and just kind of doing that. The only time I would rotate it is if there was a big object in the way and I had to to see what was going on. But then it led to those scenarios where the devs were making arenas and they weren't basing the design philosophy around the camera angle. They were just like building this cool arena, and then you constantly had to spin the camera. Ultimately, I ended up not liking it.
Yeah, I think that in the game of an isometric RPG, like, you know, Path of Exile, Diablo, Last Epoch, these games should be 100% fixed. If I want to play an over the shoulder, you know, game, I'll just play like World of Warcraft or something. Like why do I have this rotated camera ability? That's not what. No, it doesn't increase my immersion. It's just weird in a game like this. And then I wanted to touch on, they're doing an AMA. So the Judd Cobbler, the CEO and game director of Last Epoch, is doing an AMA May 20th at 9 a.m. CDT. So if you guys
Can we ask about Sneaky Steve?
Sneaky Steve.
Is Sneaky Steve
now
still there?
Someone will ask that in chat.
I
would assume we could. Let's find out real quick. Last Epoch.
Hold on. Sneaky Steve, man. I might tune in and ask that question.
Okay,
just be like, what was can you give me the background info for Sneaky Steve at BlizzCon 2018? That they have about us.
They used to.
They took it off, man. Sneaky Steve got so much backlash. On the right, contact us. Is it there? I can't see. Oh.
Contact support, but they used to have like who we are or something.
They took it off, man. He must have got too much flack.
Rip Steve.
Sneaky Steve. It was a good knowing. It was nice knowing you did. Yeah, we might. If somebody tunes into that, you know, make sure that some Blizzard guy is gonna go in there like, oh, I got you, dude.
Yep.
With games like Diablo 4 coming up, I just wonder how you guys are gonna compete in the ARPG market.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yikes.
I'm sorry, Last Epoch. No, the game looks cool, man. It's I've heard really good things about it lately.
Yeah.
My chat tells me all the time, like, when are you gonna start playing Last Epoch? When are you gonna play Epoch? Sorry, I call it Epoch. When are you gonna start playing Last Epoch? And I'm like, I need to. So I
you should definitely try it out. I like people are always like, oh, they did a big update, and I'm like, it's exciting and that's cool. I'm glad, but like it's still every single time I play Last Epoch, it feels like very alpha-y, you know, and like very much in development, which it should because it is. Yeah. But it almost like takes away from that excitement of like, okay, when it finally launches, like it's gonna be
that's
really.
That's kind of what I'm doing too. Yeah, like I'm a big fan of the launch day hype and experiencing things new. And if I've gone in and I've played this alpha or beta or whatever they're calling it, then when it actually launches on launch day, I will have done all that stuff before,
exactly,
and it won't have the same experience. So,
and that's why I'm a little worried for so say Lost Ark gets just straight up ported. There's nothing really different. I'm actually kind of concerned because I have a little bit of Lost Ark burnout because I played so much.
I did too, man. Yeah, I played it. I played 2 characters to max level, and did a little bit of the raids and stuff. So like I've experienced it. It's been a while, so it would be fun.
Yeah,
but it would definitely burn out faster than it did last time. So hopefully we get to experience season 2 and maybe season 3 if that's out by then.
Right. And hopefully, new stuff. Different stuff.
We'll go to the micro transaction stuff in a second because it's scary with Amazon heading that ship.
Yeah, dude. And I don't know anything about this, so you'll have to like walk me through what's going on here.
All right, so
this is a tweet.
Yeah, so New World. We played New World. We got the keys from Amazon. They gave us the keys and we played it. And so my memory on this game was that it was pretty hot garbage.
Oh, like, it was flaming hot garbage.
It was pretty hot garbage. Like from a visual standpoint, it looked okay-ish. It wasn't horrible. From a gameplay standpoint, all the skills and abilities were super uninspired. The quests were uninspired. Combat was pretty meh at best. There was nothing that stood out to me in the game as being like, this is amazing. This is what their niche is going to be. They're going to own this area of MMOs. So that's what I left. And so then now I guess, man, they're getting closer to like the launch was supposed to happen and it got pushed back because TBC Classics coming out is the real reason. I don't know if they admitted that. I'm sure they did, or they should have. But so here's a gameplay trailer. This is not what we experienced when we played the beta. Like if you look at this looks better than I remember. The gameplay looks way more zoomed in than Is this what we played? Yes. I don't even remember it that well. I just remember thinking it was hot garbage. So
is it already lagging? Maybe not. What's going on?
No, the video shouldn't be. Is it the stream? So, yeah, man, it just looks like it looks beautiful. But anyway, back to the topic is if you can pull up the screenshot of the New World statement. So I guess New World has been testing their microtransactions in the alpha or beta or whatever open public thing they have going on. And so it says basically they got flamed really hard for it. Like Asmongold and like these really big content creators were like, what the hell? You guys are making a launch title and you're going to sell convenience things. You're going to sell boosts and you're going to sell all this stuff. And so they backed off and they put out a statement. And if you read the statement, I won't go through word for word, but some of the key points are like the second paragraph says all store items at launch will be exclusively cosmetic in nature. And so people are like going, oh, you can buy cosmetics. Yeah, but if you read into this, it says all store items at launch. It doesn't say all store items will be exclusively cosmetic. It says at launch will be cosmetic. And like you have to look in the fine print of these things before you're like, you know, because some people are like, see, I told you they're going to do it right. And then I'm like, man, I don't know. If you guys go through and read this, like, so if you sit here and you analyze like a video game and you think about what's a pain point in I'll use WoW Classic right now. A pain point in WoW Classic is leveling. Leveling sucks. It's tedious and it takes forever. And so if Blizzard were to start selling boosts or experience rest or things that would expedite that process, do you have to buy it? No. But who created the problem in the first place? Blizzard created the problem in the first place. They're selling you a solution to a problem that they manufactured so that you will buy the solution. And like that's what kind of scares me personally with New World. Like honestly, man, this MMO didn't appeal to me that much when I played the beta, unless it's changed drastically since then. I don't think I'll play it much anyways, but this is looking super scary. And if you go through and read this, and you can get, you know, a lot of people's reviews from guys who have invested way more time in the game, but it doesn't look like a good launch, man, for old Amazon, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, Amazon historically has only had bad
has screwed
stuff.
it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's tie this over to Lost Ark,
Oh,
which
God.
is more relative to what it's ARPG kind of, right?
No, it
ARPG-ish.
MMORPG, yeah.
Yeah. Lost Ark is also going to be controlled by Amazon. If they're doing this in their first-party title, and they're going to microtransaction and ruin their game out of the gates in a first-party title, what are they going to do to Lost Ark, man?
I don't know, man. I mean, here's the thing, though. Like, Lost Ark is already in a bad place for NA. Like, it's already bad. Like, if it were to come out poof, right? Poof, tomorrow.
If it came out the way it is,
people would reject it. Like, everyone would be excited for like a week or two, and then people would like uncover.
It'd be dead.
It would die.
It'd have Magic Legends viewership on Twitch.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, how much more can they screw it up? My hope is that this is like their first thing that they do right, and they're like, oh hey, by the way, from all this research that we've done, because we have unlimited money supply because we're fucking Amazon.
Yeah, we have billions of dollars. That's an actual term. Right. Look it up. Kabillions. That's a lot.
And we realized that this is not what people want, especially not in the ARPG genre, right? Like you see, like they've got these models, right? And that's the thing is like maybe with MMOs, you know, like WoW hasn't necessarily super capitalized on maybe monetization like they probably could have. I don't know.
I think they have though.
It's just like a subscription, like it's an old subscription model, and like they have some cash up stuff. But I mean, like if they had Path of Exile cash up stuff, like it'd be a whole different.
Well, yeah.
Ballpark.
So here's my thought process on the game. Like, man, and maybe it's because I'm old, and I think that you'll agree with me because I think we're from that same generational old school gamer. But if you make the good game, if you make the game good, then your monetization comes from the game being good. Your monetization doesn't come from the cash shop. And so like an example I can give for that is like Black Desert Online. I've played Black Desert Online. I bought Black Desert Online. I bought it when it had a price, like you can get it free all the time on Steam. I don't know, but I bought it when it was like $30 or $40 back in the day. You could play Black Desert Online and do every bit of content in that game without spending a penny. Just like PoE. You can play PoE for free, and you could technically do every piece of content without ever spending a penny. But could you do it? Probably not. Like, would you do it? Probably not. Mm-hmm. Like, you're gonna at minimum, I hope, buy stash tabs to sort your keys and your maps and things. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But you could do it without it. So like for Amazon to say like, oh, we're gonna put a cash shop for things that hold value to the players. Well, PoE's value is the stash tabs. That's a huge value and convenience. But that convenience exists because PoE made it that way. They made the stash tab system by default shit, so you'll spend money to buy the stash tabs. They're like, they did it on purpose. Either you're just like, it's like you're being drugged, you know? And that's okay because they're a business and they got to make money. I get it. World of Warcraft's value is in the game, and you're paying the subscription fee, and like everything else is in the game. You can earn it. You know what I mean? So I think the value comes from the game itself, not from, hey, let's design a cash shop that can make us money and we'll build the game around it. And I feel like that's what games do these days. Is they're like, how can we break the game to make people buy the fix? And I think that's a really disgusting way to design games, but I think that's the future. I think that's what they do. They make it, let's make a game. What could we break in the game that we could sell that won't piss people off?
Yeah, and I think it's okay to an extent. Like, so say it's Path of Exile, right? So say you jump in, you're having a great time, and you get to that point where you're like in maps, and you're like, man, I'm just filling up so fast, these like stash tabs, and I'm spending so much time like sorting this stuff, like, goddamn. So I'm gonna spend $60 and get the tabs that I need, and bing, bang, boom. I'm playing at a very reasonable level. I don't have to spend more money on this game. Like if I want my character to look cool, whatever, that's a whole different story. But
I get that with PoE because it's free.
Yeah.
Okay. So now New World's got a $40 price tag on it. Mm. So does that change? If PoE was $40 instead of free, how do you feel now?
I hate it. I mean, no, of course not. If you have to pay to play the game, and Like if Pee-wee's $40, those quality of life aspects better come baked into that pay to play.
Mm-hmm.
Not like an additional fee.
Yeah. So what if? Yeah, I'm just trying to wrap my head around what's acceptable and what's not I think that's the problem, man, is if you're paying money for the title, like you expect the full game. I think that's where the disconnect comes in. It used to be you paid money for the title and everything's accessible to you because you bought it. And then it was like, okay, and then here's free to play. Free to play is if you want things, you have to pay money to get them. Okay, cool. Two separate dividing philosophies on game. And I think they're like the game companies have been trying to merge these two for a long time to where it's like you pay for the title and we're also going to sell you stuff in game. And I just think that's crazy. I just look at a game like World of Warcraft and I think classic. If they started selling rested X in World of Warcraft, everybody would do it because it's such an inconvenience. But that would drastically change my feelings of the game. Like it really would make me be like, this is disgusting and I don't want to play anymore, you know, because it's like, you're not earning it. You're paying to get these characters now, you know? So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy. And it sucks, man. Cause I think regardless if I like New World or not, I want Amazon to succeed in the games business because Amazon's got so much vested money in the games industry being with Twitch. Like Twitch is a huge thing. And if they can successfully make games and market games too, then that's going to encourage them to continue to promote Twitch because they're going to go hand in hand. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I'm
waiting for Bezos to just be like, yeah, we're losing money on this Twitch thing. Kill it.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No. I'm expecting them to look at Amazon games like we suck. So like, let's give up. And my concern is like, so say Amazon's games start popping off, like Lost Ark comes out and then like, man, all good changes and people love it. It's the new meta, right? And the reason I'm concerned with that is because, you know, it'd be Amazon Games and Amazon owns Twitch. And so there maybe like be all these like things on Twitch that would kind of like encourage you to like watch Amazon games or play Amazon games. And then like, you know, as a Diablo 3 streamer, because it's Blizzard, like now you get like maybe less viewers because people aren't incentivized to watch you as much, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So
yeah, it's going to be like Amazon games. You can only stream New World on Twitch. So if you're a YouTube streamer, you couldn't do it. Or, you know, Google decides to make a gaming division. They're like, you can only stream this on YouTube. You can't stream it on Twitch, etc. I don't even know if legally that's a thing. Probably. I don't know. I wonder if they could enforce that legally. You know, like you can't. I know the game developers can tell you can't stream their game. I remember when Persona 5 came out, they were so afraid of spoilers getting leaked from the game that on PlayStation, if you were streaming directly off your console, once you beat the like first couple chapters of the game, it literally said, boop, you can't stream anymore. And it would turn your stream off if you're on console. And if you were using a capture card and stuff, they said that they were going to start DMCA takedowns against your stream if you made it past this spot. They instantly backed off that like 2 or 3 days later when people outraged, but they were striking people for it. So crazy, man.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's really, I guess, all the gaming juice we have. Would you have anything else? This is kind of a short pod this week, man.
Well, I mean, a normal length pod.
We've only had like 2 normal length pods ever in the history of podcasts. Have you? I've been on the TBC hype. It hit me last week. I wasn't sure if it was going to hit at all, but last week I'm like, all right, man.
Were you about to ask me if I was on the TBC hype?
No, I wasn't. I thought about. I already know who I'm talking to. So we rolled a brand new rogue on a brand new server. Because
why?
What do you call when you hate yourself? What is it called?
Self-loathing.
I guess it's something.
Self-harm. Report them, guys.
I'm self-harming for re-rolling a new character. So I have to get it to level 60 before June 1st. So in classic, that's a chore, and I'm putting in work trying to get it done. I've been staying up till like 7 a.m. every day, just grinding.
Streaming or just
a lot of it, yeah.
Damn.
So sometimes when I'm zombieing out that hard, I'll end stream and just keep grinding. But yeah, man, it's a thing. So the hype train's here. That officially pre-patch hit today. Servers got extended. Let's talk about server maintenance for a second. So they're having PoE levels of launch day blues. The maintenance started at 9 a.m. Central Time, 7 o'clock West Coast, 7 a.m.
Okay.
And it was scheduled to come back up at 3 p.m. They extended it until 10 p.m. earlier, so that they've juiced it up now. People are pretty upset. The memes are kind of out of control on Twitter. Like the Twitter post that was like, we're extending it to 10. They had just all these, "You are not prepared," which is Illidan from TBC, like the quote. They're like, "No, you're not prepared." And they started blasting them. But man, when PoE launched its league, let's say that launch day, they found out they're like, "Oh shit." Would you have rather had them be like, "Yo, we're down for maintenance for an extra day. We're not going to launch Friday like we said"? Or would you rather have them do the broken launch that they did, where it disconnects every couple seconds?
I'd rather be down, personally.
Yeah, just say like, "Hey, we're extending maintenance 24 hours. Sorry."
It was so bad.
Yeah,
it was so bad.
Yeah, that's got to suck for a company to be like, "We have this launch window, we didn't hit it."
Yeah.
Oh shit.
But like they couldn't because they'd paid all these big time streamers to play the game, and
I mean, you gotta. That's the thing, though, man. Yeah. You gotta like be like, listen, that's just knowledge for next time. Next time when they do the big streamers, they gotta say, listen, man, there's got to be some contracts, and like, if we have some serious shit, then we're gonna have a rescheduled date in your clause to hit a week later or 3 days later or whatever. Is that cool?
Yeah, I would think that, like, I don't know, if I'm like a Shroud, right?
Right.
And like a game's paying me like, let's just say at least 50K.
100
at least.
Yeah, let's say Shroud got 150K.
Probably.
There's no way. Yeah.
And then they're like, shit, the game's down. I'd probably be like, I wouldn't be like, well, sucks to suck. I'd probably be like, well, yeah, I get it. Like this shit
You definitely
happens.
want that money again. Yeah. Like you want that relationship, right? You know?
Well, it wouldn't be just that. It wouldn't be like, oh, I want to keep this money flow coming. It'd just be like, people are human and shit happens.
Well, I would think all those things factor in. The good human side of me would be like, damn, I feel for you guys. Don't worry about it. When we're back and stable, I'll take care of you. You know what I mean? And then the money side would be like, yo, let's make sure we keep the relationship. These guys just bought me a new fucking Mercedes. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever Shroud does with this money, I don't know. It's a night in Vegas. Who knows?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, it's crazy. So I feel for the Blizz team right now, dude. They are busting ass. They got 2 hours to hit that window. I don't know if they've hit the window yet or not, but speaking of which, let me make sure the servers aren't up because, if they are, podcast is over right now.
Oh my God.
Just kidding. Anyways, let's get into some PChild loves, Fluff hates.
Was that not your PChild loves?
That was my PChild loves.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty much TBC juice. Servers are still down.
Fluff hates.
What do you hate this week, man? Tell me about your motorcycle trip. What experiences on your motorcycle trip did you hate?
Nothing. I mean, there's hardship for sure. Like the stuff's really difficult, and like I was in a lot of pain. But like,
are we talking about your heart? Or are we talking about the motorcycle trip?
No. Yeah, you just derailed me because I had something to.
I'm sorry. I brought it back up.
God damn you.
It's okay.
What was I gonna hate on?
We'll talk about love. So my chat was telling me to watch this show called Mr. In Between. Have you heard of this show before?
No.
They've been bugging me to watch this show for a long time. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll watch the show. And so I made my wife watch it with me. I'm like, well, we're going to, my chat's telling me this show's really good. Let's check it out. It wasn't that good, guys. Like, it wasn't bad. It was just good enough to where I'm like, do I stop watching this or do I watch one more episode? And so I made it through 3 episodes or 4 episodes like that, and I'm like, okay, this isn't that good. So I was just curious if you were on the Mr. In Between hype train too.
I've never heard of it. I did check out Startup.
Startup? I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, quite a few people recommended it, and like I'm an episode and a half in, and it's not really biting for me.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Did you watch Shadow and Bone?
I did, and I finished it.
Did you? I haven't finished the whole thing yet. I'm like 6 or 7 in.
But again, I didn't really leave that. Like, it was watchable, but I didn't like. I wasn't addicted to it at all.
No, it's not Game of Thrones level.
No. I mean, it wasn't even like, I don't know. Did you start Ted Lasso yet?
No, but that's on the list. That's one of the ones.
We've been talking about for like 5.
I know. I literally. I have a note. Hold on. I have a note. I have a notepad thing where I wrote down. Look, this is. Hold on. Yeah, I got scribbles on this, and one of those things says Ted Lasso. So it's on my list, man.
Yeah. Okay, hates.
What do you hate?
Dating apps. So I've committed. I committed late last week. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Right? Like, I'm gonna.
Okay.
I'm gonna get on these apps because I wanted to see like what.
You wanted. Listen, you were lonely. I understand.
No, shut up.
You don't have to explain to us. We understand. Dude.
It's like there's Tinder, there's the Bumble, and there's a Hinge, right? And so I wanted to like.
Okay, I don't know any of these because I'm old and married. Dude.
I didn't know either. I've been out of the game.
Okay.
For a long time.
Okay, listen. I've been out of the game for 16 years. Right, Fluff, tell me about these apps.
Okay, so Tinder is like the OG, but like.
Yeah, I know Tinder. Everybody knows Tinder.
Right.
Okay.
But Tinder's like it's just thirsty ass people. So it's like chicks looking for Snapchat followers, Instagram followers. Like I don't know if anyone's real on Tinder. Okay. And so like delete that one. That one's not good anymore. And then there's Bumble, but like
my brother met his wife on Tinder. Okay.
I'm sure it was great like back then, right? Like, Tinder's
I don't know. I don't know. He'd probably be pissed if he knew I told people
sex robots and stuff.
Yeah.
But then there's Bumble.
Okay.
And Bumble's thing is like, well, we're like Tinder, but like the girl has to message you first after you match.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Ooh. And that's where my brother met his midlife crisis 20-something.
So you got to flex hard on your Bumble profile. I mean, you're like taking pictures like, you know.
And Bumble's nice because you can be like, yo, I don't want anyone with kids. I don't want anyone that wants kids.
Oh, damn.
Blah, blah,
selective
blah.
too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want people that are fit. But you always say like fit and you still get like people that are like, well, you're not fit. Like, what do you mean?
I want a 10. Yeah. Like, give me a 10. Who plays video games? Got it.
Right. But yeah, you just like you just get spam. There's like a thing called Beeline that tells you like who's liking you, and you just get like spam with all these people. Then
did you get messages on Bumble?
Oh my god, like crazy, like nonstop. Right. So
there's that many thirsty ladies.
Oh my
god.
Out there, yeah. I mean, well, here's the thing, P. Like.
Okay. All right.
I am a very good-looking man.
That's debatable.
Am successful. And I don't have any kids. I don't have any. I was never married, right? Like I'm not going through a divorce or anything like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
did you put humble as one of your things on your? Is like humble?
Humble, yeah. Rank 1 humble.
Is there like will consistently badger you and make fun of you, and super humble?
Yes.
Face of Diablo. Okay.
Yes. And so, like. I noticed right away that like I would just get spam. Like I'd have to like 200 people would like me in like a day, but like
look at him flexing.
I'm not stop.
Like
I'm going to. Would you stop interrupting me? I'm trying to tell a story.
Sorry. Okay.
All right. And so like there'd be like probably one in that 200 people that's like okay, like I'll look at your profile basically because it was just like. And I'm not here again. It's like we talked about weeks ago. I'm not body shaming anyone. There's someone out there that will love you, whatever your shape.
Man. Listen, I get it, dude.
And it's just so. And I made a thing, right? So I made it like the top thing was like if you look at my profile, like the first thing you see is like physical fitness is important to me, and it's a turn off. Like if you don't take care of yourself, right? Like I don't know how to word that any better. Right?
A ski need not apply. Oh my god, dude!
But it doesn't matter because still, it's like
listen. I'm not the one saying it.
Thousands.
Those fluff words.
It's all BBWs. So that's
BBW. Listen, BBWs need love too.
I get it.
They're like
I'm just not here to provide that.
I want to
service.
knock off Chris Evans. Like come here, dude.
And so yeah, Bumble's just flooded. Like it's just like nonstop like bloop, bloop, bloop. You've been like I don't yeah, it's too much. And then there's Hinge, which is like I don't know, you're more serious, you're more sophisticated of the.
What about eHarmony? Listen, when I come up for 150, can we set up an eHarmony profile live on 150?
Is eHarmony still a thing?
Yeah, dude. Their commercials are on TV like nonstop.
I don't have TV.
Nonstop.
I haven't seen a commercial in years.
Oh my god, dude. You don't own a TV. You own a TV. You just don't.
But again, like it's not like, ooh, I'm trying to find love, or like I'm trying to find the, like I just want to.
No, you just want to flirt.
I just want to flirt.
Yeah, he wants the booty call, chat.
No, I don't want. No. And listen, I went to Oklahoma the other weekend. I was out of bars, and that was wild, right? Like getting that confidence back, and it was really just like talking to girls, chatting up girls, getting that confidence back, and then getting to that point where I'd be like, hey, you want to get out of here? And I'd be like, yeah. And
that's
I'd be like,
where the
cool,
PC
see you later. Man, nope. But nice talking to you.
Oh, man. You know what, dude? As much as it's fun to be single, I'm glad I'm not single. That sounds horrible. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, it's different. It's definitely... But here's the thing. Is like, the reason that it's weird is, like, I can't just go out. Like, you know, like 12 years ago, I would just go out and I would just talk to a bunch of females. The bars would be popping and, you know, like, whatever. Like, that, and that's how it went. But now it's like, you know, bars are fucking dead and there's no one out.
Yeah.
It's just a weird time to be, like, rebounding, if you will.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm with you, man. It is weird. It's just like, you know, date it up. We're gonna make you some eHarmony profile when we get back. You know, like when I come up for 150, we're gonna do it.
Yeah,
that's gonna be
all super hot chicks in chat. Just type 1 first of all, and then slide into my DMs.
Any chicks in chat? Type 1. Wait, this is
all hot chicks. Type 1.
They're all pissed off because they're like, you said BBWs don't apply.
You said BBWs don't
No,
apply.
You said it.
I was just,
you were trying to round about it for so long. I got tired of it. I was just like, listen, you're saying if you're BBW, don't hit me up.
Well, I mean, said like not taking care of your body is a turnoff. Well, how else can you say that? How can you more eloquently say that?
I don't know.
How would you say it? Okay, PChild sets up a dating profile tomorrow and you want to avoid...
Oh, yes. I don't think you can without coming off as kind of an ass. I think you just filter... you know the pictures are fake anyways, right? I mean, it's like... the worst horror dating story, which I think I've told on the pod before, is me like getting catfished, man. She didn't look anything like her pictures. You know what I mean? Like, good Lord. And that's not the only time I've had that happen. It's you know, it's happened in the past, you know. So that's just part of it though, man. That's the fun. That's the stories. That's what, you know, like those horrible here's the picture and you show me the picture and like here's the picture of us on the date. Like, you know, that's what we need. We need some side by sides, you know, so we can be like, yeah, she's like a 10 in the picture. She's a 2 IRL, you know?
Yeah, so. You know, like right away, if it's like a top down, like that's a red flag. That's 100% a red flag. That is a camera trickery.
But they're trying. It's not all about physical appearance, Fluff. Where's that get you? Where's that get you?
I mean, you're not wrong. I realize I'm very shallow. Shallow hell over here.
Yeah,
I get it.
Shallow hell. But that's a good movie. You should go rewatch that. Maybe it'll teach you something.
The thing is it is true that I've recently suffered the health consequences of not taking care of my body for the past 4 years.
Okay.
And so to me, it is a big turnoff if you only get the one body in life, right?
True. Yeah.
So it is what it is. It's not even that they're like overweight and like, oh my God, because you're fat jiggles and that's really gross or something like that. It's not even that. It's just like you don't want to take care of yourself. And to me, it's like a little bit of laziness involved in that. And laziness is a huge turnoff for me. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. All right, chat. That was I don't.
We're gonna have so many of those stupid conversations in the weeks to come. I guarantee you.
This is gonna be great. I can't wait to meet the new Mrs. Fluff in a couple months. It's gonna be a fantastic voice. Let's hit up some Twitter questions. Did you see the trailer for the new Snake Eyes movie, by the way?
Snake Eyes.
Yeah, Snake Eyes. G.I. Joe Snake Eyes. Tell me you don't know.
I don't know. I actually do not know.
You didn't watch G.I. Joe as a kid?
Oh, I did for sure.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, Snake Eyes was like the baddest G.I. Joe in the planet, man. They got a new movie. They're making a new Snake Eyes origin movie. Huh. And it's basically like him running around being a ninja, chopping shit up, and it looks really cool.
I don't know that I could name a G.I. Joe.
Yeah, just Snake Eyes. That's the only one. And Cobra Commander. That's the main bad guy.
Yeah.
Those are the only two I can name. There was also like a Mr. T looking dude too, but I can't remember his name either.
Pity the fool.
All right. First question. If you guys want to submit questions to the podcast, you can tweet at ThaPChild at Lord__Fluffy, or our Discords are an awesome place. The first question is from Onion. Onion says, should Blizzard implement seasonal resets in Immortal so you can compete with other players who've invested a lot of time?
Yeah, and this falls back to, I think, a bit of ignorance on our part about like how mobile games work. I think they want to like, you know, flow in content and like keep your character maxed out to the T, and so it's like a non-season Diablo. Like that's all. That's usually, I guess, the mobile form is like there's not generally seasons or resets and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, of course, our brains are gonna be like, well, yeah, there should be resets, but I guess you know, I think ideally, to me, like the perfect game is something that you don't reset. I was never really a huge fan of the idea of like starting over again.
Yeah,
but like nothing's really done it well.
They both have their place.
Yeah,
I think they both have like an example is Overwatch. Like I haven't played Overwatch in 2 months, and I thought about playing it recently, and it's just like I can jump in Overwatch and it doesn't matter. I don't have to unlock characters. I don't have to grind gear. I jump in and it's maybe there's some balance changes I need to figure out, but I jump in and I play the game and I have a good time, you know? And then there's a game like World of Warcraft where it's like, okay, I haven't played in 3 months. I'm effed. I got to spend the next 3 months trying to play catch up just to get competitive again, you know? So there's two extremes. Diablo's kind of the same. Like you can get geared up in Diablo in a day to like, you know, do your own T16s, but can you ever catch somebody who's been Paragon farming the whole season? Nope. Like it's not going to happen. You can't do it.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know, man. The resets, if Diablo 3 didn't have resets, the game wouldn't even be playable. Right. Like you literally couldn't even play it anymore. Immortal looks like it's going to need some kind of reset though. I don't know. Yeah. I would say based on its current form, it definitely needs some kind of reset. So
in Path of Exile, if it didn't resets, Trade League would be just insane. Like the richest people in the world would just have this like complete lockdown of the auction house, or not auction house, but the trade.
Yeah, they could literally buy everything and just reflip it and control
just
money.
Delete it.
and yeah.
Some people just want to watch the world burn, man.
Right. How this is kind of off topic, but how do you feel? I saw you streaming some PoE last night.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get a little health update. Have you got any updates since then?
I go in for my neurology appointment Thursday, so that's when they'll test me for like MS and stuff like that. Which
are you still having a hard time?
I'm taking, this was what sucks. So I'm taking a drug. They have me on like it's a nerve relaxer. It's called gabapentin. But the side effects of this drug are like, and this is the thing that scares the shit out of me, because I hate taking anything like would mess with your brain, like your brain chemicals or like your brain functionality. And like I don't see anyone like regularly enough for them to be like, hey Fluff, like you seem like a little fucking weird lately. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, and so they have me on some gabapentin, and they want me to take like 900 milligrams a day, and so far I've been taking 300. I definitely twitch less, so that's good. But I mean, there's no way I don't have to have surgery on my left arm still, and that won't happen until like I have to go in for consultation in June, and then who knows when the surgery will happen.
So you're able to play in shorter periods though? You can still game a little bit?
Well, like, so if you see me play at all, like I am taking a lot of breaks. Like we will watch videos and look at memes and just shoot the shit. So how do you
feel about the PoE League this season? Is it like last season you were totally in love? This league, sorry.
Yeah, man, I completely forgot to put the PoE stuff on the schedule. I had a whole slew of stuff. Wow. Yeah, I just completely like didn't put it on.
That's okay. We can hit it.
Yeah, I mean, the big things from this league are people complaining heavily about just like the crazy clickiness. Like, so the top posts right now, and I had a whole bunch of great memes pulled up. Oh, so we got some backlash about the icons, right? Or the cursors. These are great. Yeah. These are my favorite. So someone made like leaked 3.15 MTX desktop icons.
Can you show them on the pod? Yeah.
So like they just made this like little
desktop icons for sale. Oh man.
And then they made another one that was like, you can change the way your sockets look.
Oh my god. It's $5. You can have it.
But then someone posted, someone said they spent like 30 minutes in a map and they picked up like 1,700 items just like with no loot filter on.
Wow, dude.
Yeah. God, I wish I could find all these like.
Think about the load on the server.
I looted 1,947 items in one map. It took me 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's good game design. That's really good game design.
And then this one. Any chance we get this combined in the stacks next league, and they show all the same currency being separate? Like,
I mean, it looks impressive, right? You know,
yes.
It looks like you're in warp drive in Star Wars with
the fact that there's no like vacuum pickup for like you click a jeweler's orb and the game's like, yeah, okay, well, you clearly want jeweler's orbs, so let's suck them all up like that, like the DB thing, right? Like that was a big QOL.
Yeah,
in D3. So it's just like
D2 maybe. Cross fingers.
Yeah.
Now you know what? If I had to trade some graphical fidelity or group pickup, that's okay. I'll keep spamming those mats. You just give me that nice juicy interface. Did anybody make interface jokes yet about selling interfaces? I'm sure they have.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Like, come on.
I mean, the mouse icon is an interface thing, really.
Well, yeah, it's like the first step in it, though, right?
Sure.
So what are your thoughts on the season of the league that you've been playing? Like, is it still as fun? Or are you kind of just like, okay, I'm just grinding it?
I mean, it's definitely not enjoyable. Like we said last week, it's the theme of this league is like, hey, you remember last league and how awesome it was, and you could like deterministically get the stuff. Like the whole reason you would play last league is to say you had the insane gear and you're farming Awakener, and but you want to keep going because like, oh, what if I hit a harvest and I get augment crit and I could get like double crit on this chest piece that I've been like storing in my bank, and like, so I'm just gonna keep like there's that pie in the sky that you're constantly chasing towards, all right? Or like ritual, you would see something in ritual and you defer it and you're like, oh man, if I just keep running more rituals, I'm gonna get that thing eventually. Like that deterministic drive to play the game is just completely gone for me in this league. It's like ultimatums, like you see the first thing that offers you is like, well, that fucking sucks. And then it's like, well, I guess I'll kill some stuff. And then maybe the next round, it's like, here's your next offer. And you're like, well, that fucking sucks. And you do it like 10 times. And like, you never get anything that like you can use in SSF. You know, this is all coming from an SSF player.
And then you've spent an hour killing shit for no reason.
And it feels awful. And Harvest feels terrible. I hate that they have steered away and made their message clear about like they don't like deterministic stuff. And I think that the internet, like, so last league in Path of Exile, we saw like so many posts on Reddit of people really hyped about the gear that they had made, and they'd like show this crazy like pair of boots that would, you know, like tailwind and like crazy shit, and people would be like, oh my god, how did you make those? And they're like, oh, you know, I got this kind of craft, I combined it with this craft from the crafting bench, and then I like re-rolled it and I hit this T1, and everyone's like, oh my god, that's so crazy, it's so cool. You don't see anything like that. Nothing like that this league. No one is like excited. No one seemingly have a good time. I've seen 100 videos like from Zizarin and some of the guys that are just like, yeah, it's just like at this point, just take out Harvest, like, because it's literally fucking worthless.
Right.
So yeah, it's
it's crazy to see such a big turnaround, man. In like one league, it goes from like, you know, super pog to like, this sucks. Like the community focus. Like I'm not even saying for me, because you know I don't think it would affect me a whole lot as a new player, but the community's attitude totally has 180'd since last league. Yeah,
and I was unethically addicted last week. I played more than 2 months into the league, and I was still loving it towards the end. Like it was, you know, maybe cost me my relationship. Who knows, right? Like I was playing insane amounts of hours, and I was loving every second of it, and totally worth it. Like, but this league,
You chatting with all those bitches on PoE?
That's just like,
oh my
not
god,
the same.
Oh man. So that's interesting. I wonder what they have up their sleeve for the next league, because this was supposed to be based on their big small cycle. This would have been a smaller one.
Yeah.
Right. We'll have to see what they got planned for us.
And I again, and I'm not here to shit on GGG. I'm a big fan of GGG. I love Path of Exile. I still think it's the best ARPG on the market without even like blinking an eye. Like, it's still enjoyable to play. Like, just ignore Ultimatum basically, and like some of the new skills are cool and ideas and concepts and stuff like that. You can still like make new builds, and there's tons of stuff to do, right? Like at the end of the day. But
right.
I'm confident that they'll turn it around.
Yeah, I have faith too. I don't even think it. I mean, I guess I don't know how they're going to integrate all this shit into PoE2 at the same time. That's still what blows my mind, is that all these upcoming like leagues are going to still be in PoE2. At some point, they're going to have to be like, okay, after this, none of this shit moves forward, I would think. But I'm excited for PoE2 to drop, man. I want more juice. Ever since they released that little, PoE2 info trailer, I'm like, dude,
yeah, that was juicy.
Can we start getting some quarterly blogs on PoE2, please?
Yeah.
All right, let's go back into the Twitter questions. Yeah. Hex says, what is the most 90s thing you can think of?
What's the necklace called? The puka shell?
Seashell necklace?
Is it puka shell? Or
that was
like
2000s,
that?
man.
Was it 2000s?
Like the little white seashell necklace?
That was 90s.
Yeah, dude.
Wasn't
no,
it?
that was 2000s, I think. For me, it's when I think of 90s, like the cliche thing in my head is those ugly ass Taco Bell colors. Do you remember those like blue and purple? Oh, like Google it real quick. Google a 90s Taco Bell, and it's like as soon as you see it, man, I'm thinking like Saved by the Bell and Taco Bell.
Oh, okay, yeah, like inside the Taco Bell.
Yeah, show them.
Yeah, like stuff like that.
Yeah, like look at that. That's
dope,
90s.
Man.
That's that purple and blue.
That's 80s to me.
That's hella 90s, dude. That's all 90s.
Yeah.
So
I guess
that's it. It's that.
I had like the plaid shirt, like that look, and the skater, like the skater hair. I had long hair down to like here, and I would like tuck it behind my ears, and it was like parted down the middle, a little greasy, Kurt Cobain look.
Yeah.
I should find one of those photos, man, because it is.
This is super cringe.
I mean, I look good. I'm in 8th grade, but I look great.
Okay, all right. Dirty Nap says, you get 7 minutes in a closet with anyone you choose. Who would you pick and why?
Margot Robbie.
He doesn't ask what you're doing in the closet, which I think changes this up a little bit.
No, Margot Robbie. I'm done.
Margot Robbie?
No, okay, my God,
in the
instantly.
closet?
What?
Okay.
Of course.
For 7 minutes, okay? Well, I'm throwing in, what are you doing?
You can get a lot in 7 minutes done, okay?
Well, it's going to, like 20 seconds later, okay, what are you doing then?
What?
20 seconds.
Round 2. What do you mean?
I mean, geez, dude. I don't have an instant go-to number one. I don't even know the girl's name was. Hold on, I gotta look it up because I can't remember. I don't know. I can't remember her name. She was in a movie that I saw recently.
What was the movie?
Vin Diesel called Blood something, and she was smoking hot. I can't remember her name. It's Isa something. I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, I would pick
Bloodshot.
Was that it? Was that the name of the movie, Bloodshot? Let's see.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah.
I don't really know your taste.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my tastes are all over the place, but she's I guess my new top.
Cast. It's Elza Gonzalez.
Isa. I think it's E-I-Z-A.
Yeah. You're right.
Isa Gonzalez. Yeah. Yeah, she's pretty cute.
Okay.
I'd be like, hey, how's it going? And then I'd have 6 minutes and 30 seconds to talk about something else. That movie was okay, by the way, if you go watch it. It wasn't the worst thing ever, but it wasn't super great.
I'm a big Vin Diesel fan. But
you're not a Vin Diesel fan? Groot. You know he does Groot voice, right?
Yeah. It's so much talent in the Groot voice.
You can't even tell it's him, actually. I'm trying to tell. You can't. Can
you imagine getting paid like tons and tons of money just to say I am Groot. Like,
yeah, what do you think
he got?
He can't get paid a lot for that.
No, he's like A-list celebrity, so I'm sure he gets paid a ton of money.
No, dude, he had to just be like, yo, I get to be in the movie? Sure, I'll do it.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
You think he got $1 million to say I am
think
Groot?
he got a lot of, yeah. Especially if they continue to make them, right? This is like, oh, well, I'm the Groot voice, so you need me, so I can ask for more money than the second movie.
It's already in top thing and what? You don't even want to know what he got paid, dude.
What did he get?
It's unbelievable. There's no way this is true. $54.5 million.
To say I am fucking Groot?
To say I am fucking Groot.
Jesus Christ. What are we doing?
There's no way, dude. $55 million just to say I'm Groot? Why would they do that? As like directors or producers or whoever's in casting, why would you not just get some voice actor that's like professionally done voice acting his whole life and pay that guy?
Like any one of those guys that shows up to BlizzCon, right? And does those panels, like have that guy do it.
You could have given that guy like $100K and he would have been like, hell yeah.
Do you think there's a person out there that's like, I'm not really in the Marvel movies. Oh, wait, what? Vin Diesel's playing a fucking tree? I'm going to go see it and pay thousands of dollars to see it.
Yeah, but you can't even tell. You can't even tell because he just says, I am Groot. And you couldn't, if I'd never told you that was Vin Diesel, I don't think anybody would have been like, I think that's Vin Diesel. You know? It's like if he was in like a Pixar movie, then it makes sense, right? Or not, that still doesn't make sense, but that's crazy, man. That's some crazy cash. What got us on this?
The question
topic.
Would you spend time with in a closet?
Oh, yeah. Then we got on Vin Diesel. Okay, so Gorilla Soup says, it's been kind of topical lately. What's the best way to get over your ex and stop thinking about them?
Well, what's your answer, P?
It is kind of topical. I would say distract yourself with other things. Like, you need to get rid of the stuff that, like, if you have things around that are theirs or shared, then put those things away. I'm not saying you got to throw them away. You could throw them away, but you could put them away, box them up, and start moving on, man. Start hanging out with friends and family. Start talking to other people. You know, if you're over and you're broken up, then start trying to pursue happiness in other places, or take time to yourself if you need it. But yeah, man, just get them out of sight, out of mind.
Good tip.
Okay, what you got?
This was, I think, a really great tip. Was so you make a list. You make a list of everything that you found like really attractive, their best qualities. You make a list of what you love so much about your ex, and then after you're done, you look at the list again, and you go through and you see if there's anything that is in that list that is unique to your ex. And like 99% of the time, there's nothing.
So you'd write on the list, you put like pretty eyes.
Yeah.
I can't say that one. Has, likes handcuffs, whatever. Right. And you could be like, okay, I could find somebody else.
Yeah, you can find somebody else with those qualities that doesn't have the bad qualities that you didn't like in your ex.
Okay. Gives the best back massages. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could find somebody to do those things. Yep. Interesting. So what's a quality that couldn't be replaceable?
I mean, I think there are people that, like, I would say, we're pretty unique characters.
Yeah.
I think that, I don't know.
Like my wife
could make a whole list
video
of
games
stuff.
18 hours a day.
Yeah.
I'm sure she can't find anybody else to do that.
Right.
No,
I mean, yeah. I think that they're stand-up qualities about anyone, and
yeah.
I'm sure you have some quality, P, that is unique to you. Obviously, I can make an entire list about me, but
yeah, I'm sure. Like the start of the list would be like, it's all about me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like that's it. I'm sure we could. There's things I could put things on the list for my wife. That'd be a great dating exercise that you guys could do if you have somebody right now. Just make a list of things. And if you can't think of some, then you better be confident, because if she doesn't have anything on your list, then you're gonna get your ass dumped, So Smega says, what was your favorite cartoon growing up?
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hands down. It's not even. That's my favorite cartoon as an adult still. Like every time they reboot that show, which they've done a bunch, they rebooted it in 2003. They rebooted it in 2007. They rebooted it in 2013. I watch them. I always watch them.
Wow.
So if they rebooted it again, I'd watch it. I went to see all the movies in the theaters,
the Michael
even as a
fucking
kid.
Bay films. Yikes.
Yeah, dude, I did. But you know what? They weren't that good. Honestly, I was super disappointed.
That's why I said Michael fucking Bay films.
I know.
They're terrible.
I know.
They're
bad.
Terrible.
I had hopes for them though, man. I really did. But they're terrible. The first one's still the best one. It's like kind of dark and gritty and like it was a good movie, man. It was not what you expected from the cartoon, which was like super kiddish and
it's so wild. As long as I can remember, I've always like rooted for the bad guys. So like Shredder was my fave.
Yeah, me too. I've been a bad guy rooter myself.
Goddamn.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then like Super Shredder at the end of the second one, like, and he knocks the like what? Come on, man. Like he would have been fine.
Two wasn't near as good as one. No.
He would have been fine. He knocks out of the post and stuff lands on him. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Get out of there, Super Shredder. You're Super Shredder.
Yeah. It's dumb, dude. It was dumb. And then we're not gonna go about 3. The first movie was one of my favorite movies ever. I mean, I've seen it so many times. I could probably quote scenes of the line. I wanted Shredder's costume in the first Ninja Turtles movie so flippin' bad as a kid, dude. I wanted like the real. I would have ran around just chopping the shit out of everything if I had that outfit, man. I still want it. To this day, as an adult, I would still wear that on Halloween. I would 100% wear the full Shredder gear.
There you go.
You know, done deal. That's it, man. That's all the questions we got.
Easy.
Turtles is the best cartoon growing up. If they rebooted Turtles again, you wouldn't watch it as an anime like cartoon or like not anime, but animation. Or
we've talked about this. I don't watch cartoons. I don't watch.
I would totally do it, man. I would totally tune in for Turtles. Just to check
the only thing I like as an adult, I would consider I would probably consider watching a Diablo thing because I'm a fan of Diablo.
Yeah.
I don't know that if say Final Fantasy was like, hey, we're coming out with another movie. I don't think I would watch that.
I would watch it just because if it's 7 characters, if it's like all new people and I would still watch it.
I just can't watch
people
the
keep saying
stuff.
Castlevania is really good. Like, and I'm not a huge cartoon guy or anime guy in general. Like I've watched some, but I'm not a huge nut. But people keep talking about the Castlevania, and it's supposedly the same people that are doing the Diablo one. That's never gonna happen now. I don't know. So it's Castlevania one might be one I'll check out someday, maybe. So. All right, man. That's it.
Easy.
Thanks for hanging out for the new meta. Episode 150 is not the next episode, but the one after that. It's the Death Nut. Fluff's holding it right there. Literally, the box has a warning label. This could kill you.
Does it really?
No, it doesn't. I don't think. I hope not.
It should.
It should, though. 13 million Schofield rating.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to die. So that's going to be episode 150. I'm going to drive down to KC. We're going to be set up in Fluff's house, doing it live. First person to bitch out. No, neither of us will bitch out. It doesn't matter. I would die before I let Fluff beat me,
Well, what is bitching out? Is it quitting or is it taking a drink of milk?
I don't know, man. We got to establish some ground rules, We got to get some ground rules set up. Oh, man. That's the thing. Who can go longer without the milk? Like, is it worth the physical, like the blister? Is it going to give blister? I've never eaten anything like this. Yeah. I don't know what to expect. I really don't.
I've had some really spicy food, but there's no way it was anything close to this.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. That's episode 150. So it's going to be Tuesday, June 1st. Same bat time, same bat channel. So.
Wait, what?
We'll catch you guys next week for episode 149.
Hell yeah. Peace out, dudes.